Here at 108 Praise Radio, where we're always voicing the gospel. Listen, I am so glad you are joining me tonight. Not that I'm not happy that you join me every Monday night, but tonight is going to be something special. I just can't wait for you to watch us dig deep into some things that are going on, not only in the world, but about who we are. Now, you see two women, but this is a good show for men, couples, singles. This is for everybody, I guarantee you tonight. So I'm going to introduce my guest shortly, but listen, I know over the last week or so, we've been hearing a lot about some suicides that have been going on. I know that there's been people that have been talking about it, whether it's been the news, other radio shows, etc. And, I hope that tonight, if somebody is watching the Triumphant Radio Show, my prayer is that you're reminded that there is someone you can talk to, there is somewhere you can go, and don't believe the negative about whatever you hear, whatever somebody may have said about you. If your past starts to creep up in you, I want you to remember that in the Bible, it talks about that there is no flaw in you. It's in Song of Solomon. And what I like about that scripture, just that part alone, that no matter how we feel, or we may have those days where, I look ugly today, or I'm not feeling good, there's still no flaw in you because you were created with a purpose. You were designed fearfully. You were designed, in an image of God who is grand, beautiful, majestic, with splendor. And so I want you to keep that in mind as we go through this show, because we're going to be talking about us today. We're going to be talking about you, how we feel, heart, mind, body, soul, our health. There's so much that's going to be in this hour. So, hey, if you haven't kicked off those shoes, kick them off right now. If you don't have your tea, go get your tea right now, because we have some things to talk about today. And so I just want to make sure that I encourage you to be mindful that if you are going through something, there is also a suicide hotline that you can call. We want to make sure that we're posting this online, which is 1-800-273-8255. Again, that's 1-800-273-8255. If you're feeling any kind of way, please call that number. There's so many of us out there that have gone through situations where we felt like we just wanted to end it. But I'm telling you, there is a purpose and a call in your life, and it doesn't have to be that way. And tonight, I pray that it blesses you so you'll be reminded that you can still live a life with fullness. And you'll understand why shortly. So tonight is definitely a call-in night. Let me give you the phone number to call in here on the Triumphant Radio Show here at 108 Praise Radio, and that's 770-788-6461. You have got to call in tonight with your comments and questions. I'm going to repeat that number one more time, 770-788-6461. All right. Well, we're going to get right into it so that we have plenty of time to talk about everything that's on the agenda. But let me tell you who is sitting to my left, and to the viewers sitting to your right, and to the listeners. I have an awesome, beautiful, dynamic woman next to me. And I'm going to tell you, it's almost like I stalked her. Yes, no kidding. This has been over a year. So let me tell you, I walked in Whole Foods one day, and I was planning for one of my events. And as I'm walking out of Whole Foods Market, I ran into a line of magazines. And immediately what caught my eye was this magazine. If you can see it, it's called Best Self. I love not only the title, but even the image. There was something beauty on the cover of the magazine, but something attracted me spiritually to the magazine. And it talked about best self. So I began to browse through the magazine, and I said, wow, I began to read the article on this beautiful woman named Lisa Washington. And I was amazed at what I was reading. I was encouraged. I was inspired. I wanted to get her at our conference last year. And I wrote the magazine, but I didn't get a response. But that's okay. It's okay. Because this year, I tried again. And not only did I try again, I went on Facebook. You can find anybody on Facebook. That's just true. Be careful. And I found her on Facebook, and immediately when I reached out, the humility in her, the sweetness, the warmth, the kindness responded back. You know how you reach out to people and they don't know you and they may never talk to you? And I was so overjoyed that I got a response. I'm like, Lisa Washington, and messaged me back. Yes, I did have to tell some people. And it's not just the fact that we're looking at a magazine about best self. There's more to this story, but I had to get her on the show today because she is the winner of the 2017 Best of Atlanta over 40 and fabulous. And when I say fabulosity is her middle name, it really is, and it's not in a conceit way. There's so much humility. There's so much to her depth that herself and her story has reached beyond these borders here in Georgia. They've reached people all over. They've reached other stations. They've reached TV shows. And so it is an honor to have you on the show today, Lisa.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful not only to glean from your beauty and hear your testimony and talk, but I'm just glad to have you today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for reaching out and persevering to get me on the show. I'm excited.
I'm very excited, and I wanna first find out. So the beginning of how I came in contact with you was seeing this magazine.
Yes.
How did you become the winner out of all these women in the ATL?
I know, women and men. And men. It was so funny because one of my really good girlfriends, her name is Alina Bagger. She's amazing.
Wow.
She emailed me and said, "Hey, Lisa, I actually nominated you for Best of Atlanta magazine, Over 40 and Fabulous." And I was like, okay, that's great. I was excited about it, but I was like, okay, that's great. I kind of went on. I was like, yeah, to be on the cover of that magazine, I was like, that's pretty huge, you know?
Right.
And so, anyway, so what ended up happening, they emailed me and said, "Hey, Lisa, you are top 40 in the magazine." I was like,
Amazing.
What? Top 40? And then it's like, well, you have to go and just get people to vote for you. And I'm like, so I put it out there. And there's some incredible contestants in 2017 and 2018 too.
Wow.
Just some really incredible movers and shakers of Atlanta, philanthropists, television personalities, people that's really doing some amazing things in the community. Wow. And I know the things I've done, but I'm like, man, okay, God, this is a blessing just to be in the 40. Then I got top 10. And I was like, what?
Wow.
And then the judges, the magazine and judges and other magazines around Atlanta had to vote who would be on the cover, who represented fitness, who had an incredible story, who's doing a lot of philanthropy and work in the community. Right. And I never thought that it would be me. I just was grateful to be in top 40. And at the party, they pulled this huge poster with my face on it.
Wow.
Like this smack. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Who? And I'm looking around to see who the winner is, girl. I'm looking around and saying, I wonder if I can figure it out who won. And then when he said my name,
it was you.
It was me. And my husband had to push me to the front to receive the honor of that.
Amazing.
And it's been an incredible year being on the cover. It has been an incredible year.
And the wonderful thing about it is that it started with someone just submitting your name.
That's it.
Because they saw something about you and in you.
Yeah.
I mean, that has to encourage all of us right now. We, especially women, and even men, let me not exclude that. There is always something beautiful you can find in someone.
Yes.
And there's things going on around us where we can really let someone know, hey, we want to honor you. Yeah. Not just on a local level, but on a global scale, a larger scale. Yeah. And so that friend basically opened that door for you.
Yes, I was very grateful.
And so from being the winner, what types of doors has it opened for you?
It's interesting because before I was on the magazine, I was on Food Network, and I got a chance to do Food Network for 2 months, and it was awesome. I did a show called All Star Academy, which was incredible, that was amazing because it was international, opened a lot of doors, and I did a whole spiel on Food Network and what I do. But the great thing about being on all television stations locally, radio stations here locally, is I got to tell a story that is the reason why I got to be on that cover. And that is a story of my husband giving me his kidney 10 years ago.
Let's talk about that.
And the really great thing about this story is me and my husband renewed our vows 3 years ago. We've been married for 23 years and together for 25. Wow. And the beautiful thing about that is I tell him, I am because you are.
Woo. I am because you are.
And I think about the things I've gotten to do. I've gotten to be on national television, local television. I get to do some correspondence for Good Day Atlanta, talking about health and wellness, and a lot of things. But it's because of who he is, because of his life and sacrificing and giving me his kidney, that I'm able to do the things that I've gotten to do. The magazine, what it really helped me to do is that now I'm the keynote speaker for the Georgia Transplant Foundation, because there's a kidney transplant recipient on the cover of this magazine that says, this was over 40 and fabulous and fit looks like.
Right.
And that really inspires me about the magazine because I've had a struggle. I was in a coma for 3 days before my husband gave me his kidney. I was on dialysis. We've lost 2 babies because of my kidney disease. Yeah. So a lot has happened, and so it's a blessing. Right. You know, it's a blessing to be honored in that way. Right. And I can go show transplant patients this is what it looks like on the other side of transplantation. Come on. You know, I call it the other side of living.
Yeah, it really is, because there are people, and I hope you all are gathering this. If you're just tuning in, we have Lisa Washington here in our studio today, here on the Triumphant Radio Show, and we're hearing her testimony and her story that actually is behind or connected to the fact that she's on the cover of the 2017 Best Self magazine, and also in the 2018 magazine as well, spread as well. We'll get to that later. But what I love about it is that she's sharing her testimony about receiving a kidney transplant from her husband.
From my husband.
When you think about that, and you think that you are someone who's a spokesperson for that, but you're talking about your best self, that is encouraging there.
Yes.
You know, because it's letting us know, if I'm going through something that I even think or decide to fathom that it's going to be detrimental to the rest of my life, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Because then actually I can actually survive it. Yes. And be the best self. Yeah. I mean, I bet you can inspire people.
Yeah, because people think that best self is just perfection. Right. And it is not. It's how we stand in our imperfections. That's what that's about, you know? That is your best self at any stage in life. Right. Wherever you're at, you rise up to the best of that and stand on that. And so I think that's really important.
That's very important. Yeah. I know there's some of you that are listening right now, and you're thinking about some of the things we've talked about. I know the last couple of weeks we've had some people on the show that have had different things going on in their life, but they keep on keeping on, you know? Yes. And we as women, we have to remember, because we're so critical about ourselves.
Oh my
sometimes.
Gosh, yes we are.
You know, I used to tell people how I moved to Georgia and I gained weight. It's because of that Georgia food. But it may not be the Georgia food all the time. What do I need to put in place to get my weight back down, you know? Right. And so even thinking about food, we sometimes beat ourselves up, or we make that other things an excuse because we don't like where we're at, when in actuality, we can get to a better place.
Yes,
you know? And
I agree.
And I think the attitude that you have based off of what you've been through has helped shape yourself and other people.
Yeah, it really has. I really think it really is about that attitude that you have, how you approach life, how you look at life. That is the thing that really makes a difference. Right. It really, and I don't care where you're at in life. Right. Your perspective is what's leading the way. Right, right. That's what leads the way. I don't care what the situation is. Your perspective leads the way.
That's it. And I was reading in the article, and I love the fact that it talks about 40 and fabulous, because so many of us women that are 40 and over, we sometimes dread. You have young ladies nowadays dreading hitting 30. I'm 30. Gosh, I'm not married. I need a kid, or there's so many, and it's almost like what's going on with society? And here we are, have people that are confident and excited about getting 40 and beyond and living their best life.
Oh my gosh, my 40s is my best time. I'm having a good old time. I agree. I'm about to hit 50, but I'm just like, good Lord, this is fun.
It is. And I just want to, what can we tell, if you're under 40 right now, and you're dreading hitting 40, one thing I guess we can tell them in terms of as you grow and you age is that you gain wisdom.
You do.
When you gain wisdom, that means that you gain a better perspective about who you are.
Yes.
And then you start to appreciate that 40 and below, because it helped build you to who you are today.
Yes.
Because if you didn't have those building blocks when you hit 40 and on, you may still be in a wobbly lifestyle because you didn't learn from anything. And so we have to appreciate what you say, those younger years.
No, I think even in those years of when you're 30, when your 20s or in your 30s, it's really appreciating every aspect of that time in your life and really kind of getting to know who you are in that moment and not who society is telling you that you need to be.
Right.
If I had to go back to my 30-year-old self, that's what I would say. Like, Lisa, take some time out to find out who you are.
Right.
That's good. This moment at 30, the brilliance of that and who you are at 30, and live in that space and not what society is telling us who we should be.
That's amazing.
That's what you figure out
That's
when you're in
amazing.
your 40s.
Yeah, that is what we
So
figure
you
out.
might
when
as
we're in
well
our
take
40s.
it now.
That's right. That's right. You know, if you're just tuning in once again, we're listening to the Triumphant. You are listening to the Triumphant Radio Show. I really want you to call in. I think we have some callers calling in, but let me tell you the number again, which is 770-788-6461. We want to hear your comments, your questions. You know, call in now, because when you hear about someone, a couple, a beautiful couple, and a husband who's given up something in him for his wife, isn't that the meaning of love?
Yes.
I mean, that it's just so beautiful. And then you have a woman who is not down on herself about it. She's like, I'm in my best self.
Yes.
And somebody else aside from them saw this and said, you need to be in Atlanta's best. And because of that, we are sitting with her today, and she has won this position, and it has taken her everywhere.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Gosh, yeah.
Caller 5478. You are on. You are on. Yeah.
Oh, great.
You're on. Question or comment? Caller, are you there? 5478. And if we've missed you, you can call back. Caller 5478, you there?
I can hear something.
In the background.
Oh, hey!
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 This is Keegan. I'm calling in for Lisa.
Hey, Keegan, how are you?
I am good. I've been listening in from the beginning. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. And I just want to fully agree with the hostess about what you have shared about Lisa. I've known Lisa for over a decade personally, and she is beautiful on the inside, on the outside. And the thing about Lisa is when you're around her, like, you cannot help but smile, you cannot help but laugh,
I believe that.
and you cannot help but just feel at peace and feel at home when you're around her. And she has this healing aura about her that you could be going through the toughest times and the worst times, and you talk to Lisa and everything is better. Everything is okay.
Wow.
Lisa has been such a great support for me in my journey, and she has been my dream interpreter. Whenever I have vivid dreams, she tells me what it means, and a lot of times, most of the times, all of the time, it's dead on. And she has been a great friend. She has been a great big sister to me.
Wow.
And she has been a great inspiration for me. And I'm so grateful that God put Lisa in my life. I don't think I would be where I am if it wasn't for Lisa, Lisa's friendship, Lisa's advice, Lisa's wisdom, Lisa's example of living, being a mom, being a parent, and just showing me what all of that entails, what all of that means. And I have one question for Lisa, because I always love picking her brain, and I always love hearing her share about her wisdom. But my question is, Lisa, what was one of your inspirations, or what was one thing that inspired, motivated you to start your own business, to become the CEO of your business, of your company, to really step out? Because that's a big deal to start a business, to create a business. There's a lot of fear and insecurity that I believe that I know I went through even before thinking of jumping out of that boat. But what was one thing that helped you, that inspired you to face those fears, or face whatever insecurities, or face whatever possibilities of failure, and just to do it?
Well, you know the thing, first of all, Keegan, thank you so much for your beautiful words.
Beautiful.
You are such a great little brother. I love you.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you for calling in. The thing that inspired me, that motivated me, moved me forward to start my own company, which is Vitali Wellness and Beauty Company, is that I knew that I had something that people needed. And when you know that there's something that you have that people need, you just got to figure out now, how do I get it to them? That thing inspires me when you have that knowing within your soul, within yourself, that I have something that I know that people need. And it doesn't matter if you see 1,000 other people that have that same thing to give. Nobody's going to give it to them the way you're going to do.
That's right.
I always say I'm probably not the best, I'm not the prettiest, but I'm going to tell you, nobody can give it to you the way Lisa can, the way Lisa can deliver it. And I think that is the thing that inspires me, and that's the thing that inspired me to start my company. And that's what made the company very successful. And so I think for any entrepreneur out there is to really have that focus, that I have something to give to the world and that no one can deliver it the way that I can do. And that'll keep you going no matter the ups and the ins and the outs. So that's how I would answer that.
That's excellent. Thank you, Keena, so much for your call and for calling in. We're now going to take caller 7946. Caller 7946, you're on.
Oh, hi. This is Tran Smith, and hi to Keegan. Hi. So I have only known Lisa for a year, but I feel like I've known her for so much longer because she's one of those people, and I feel like I'm repeating a lot of what other people are saying, but she's one of those people that you can't just like, hi, I'm Tran, nice to meet you. It's like, hey, we're going to be friends, and I'm going to wrap my arms around you and your entire life and be a part of your life. So it's a beautiful thing because I had only lived in Atlanta 2 years, and I was trying to find my place. And Best Self Magazine and Lisa and some other wonderful ladies like my friend Michelle, these ladies just embraced me, and I realized that sometimes we just need to wait for our tribe, wait for our fit.
Look at that.
And the fact that, like, she is successful and she doesn't need all this extra stuff, but yet she makes room for other people. And she does not, she doesn't feel threatened by other people or feel like she doesn't need to express her support or, she's like very generous with her compliments and her support. And to me, that shows that someone who is very strong and confident in herself. And that's, it's a shame, but we don't see that all the time.
That's right.
And so for that, I thank you. So lots of love to you. But so my thing with, early on with Lisa, I just kind of followed her journey, and I would watch her videos with all, all these like fabulous food and this and that. And so finally I said, you know what, I'm tired of like complaining about how I'm eating and how I'm feeling and how I don't like, where my body is at this point.
Right.
So I could either accept it or I can say, all right, I'm going all in.
That's
and
it.
So I called her and I said, okay, what do I need to do? And I was honest with her and exactly what I wanted for my health and fitness, and then I struggle with thyroid issues and stuff. So I said, this is what I want.
About this.
And she was like, okay, if this is what you want, then this is what you're going to have to do, and you're going to need to decide. Are you all in? Do you want to do it? And if you want something more, then you're going to have to do more. And it's what I needed to hear. And so it was huge for me because now I'm making healthy choices. I'm eating things that I never even would imagine putting together.
That would be ours.
And that they taste good.
Right.
So, so with that, Lisa, I just wanted you to share with some of the listeners, especially, those of us over 40-something, and how our bodies start to change. And it's not as easy anymore just to cut out a little bit or just to work out a little bit more. Like you have to make major changes. And so what is like the number one thing that we should be focusing on?
First of all, Tran, it's so hard to go into what's the number one thing to focus on after all those beautiful words that you shared about. I love you so much, Tran. Thank you so much. Tran is one of my best Self Atlanta magazine sisters, and she's in the inspirational. She won the inspirational award.
We did
she was absolutely. If you can show her picture, see how beautiful she is. Isn't she gorgeous? Yeah.
Tran, are you watching or are you listening today?
Well, yeah. Well, everyone sees you
I'm
now.
listening.
Well,
I have it on my app.
Okay.
Well, everyone can see you now. But thank you so much, Tran.
Oh,
Is
no.
everything she said about me, she is the same. And I love you. To answer that question for the viewers out there over 40 and fabulous, or if you're in 50, the number one thing I would say is love yourself.
That's right.
That's the first thing you have to do is to choose to love you. And when you decide to choose to love you, then you start to only put within yourself what will love you back. And so
good.
That is it. It's a consciousness of that. And Tran, that's what you did. You start loving you, and then you start choosing any and everything in life, from the way you spoke to yourself, to the foods that you're eating, the things that you're drinking, even the people you put yourself around.
That's right.
You pouring and digesting love back into yourself. So that starts off with eating more fresh fruits and vegetables, eating foods that will love the body, drinking more water, exercising 3 or 4 times a day. But it is putting things within you that will love you back.
I love that.
And that's it. I
Love
think if
you
I had to
back.
go like across the board,
Right.
it is that. Put things in you that's going to love you back. If
And
it's not going to love you back today, then say, you know what, I won't need to do that.
And like you said, even that includes your surroundings.
It's your
people,
surroundings. It's
those
your
that are connected
surroundings.
with you,
Yeah.
Because some people will tolerate you, but they won't really appreciate you.
They would not.
And that's part 2 of your healing and your growth, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
And getting to that place. And Tron, you really said some great things in there about her and how you had to make a decision.
Yeah.
And once you've made that decision, things begin to change in our lives.
Yeah, and Tran is amazing. She looks incredible.
Awesome.
Her body is on point.
That's wonderful. Hey, if you're just tuning in, you are listening to the 108 Praise Radio. Here at the Triumphant Radio Show, we have visiting with us Lisa Washington. She is the Best of Atlanta 2017 winner. We're so excited to have her in the studio. So we're having callers and we're trying to get everybody in. But the testimony, if you hadn't heard, it's been beautiful. And I'll touch back on that shortly. We do have another caller waiting for us, Michelle Thomas. Michelle, are you on the air?
Yes, I am. Hello, hello.
Look, she's in here too.
Hey, Michelle.
Yes. How are you?
We're good. What do you have for Lisa today?
Well, I had the honor and the pleasure of being part of the top 10 Best of Atlanta with Lisa.
Okay.
And also, my bestie Tran just called in. So the 3 of us just really bonded. And one of the things that I love about Lisa is a bright light. When she enters a room, you're like, who is that? I want to know who she is. I want her energy.
Right.
And I love that so much about her.
Right.
And like Tran, I've known her roughly a year, and, the 3 of us have really clicked.
Right.
And Lisa, I have to tell you, you inspired me. I work at Morehouse School of Medicine, and we have a doctor that's teaching a plant-based cooking class.
Wow.
It's a 12-week class. And because of you, Lisa, we became friends. We became Facebook friends, Instagram friends. And I, too, love the posting of the food.
All right.
And I have lupus.
Yeah.
So I have to be careful with my eating, my stress levels. And because of you, I am taking this class, and I am really learning.
Oh,
and I want to thank you for your light and your spirit and seeing how you carry yourself, that this has inspired me to want to do better.
Oh, thank
you,
Michelle.
So my question for you, because you do so much, and I follow you and I love you dearly, what in the world is next for Lisa Washington?
And wait, I want you to hold on that comment real quick, because we're going to get to next, because I really want to dive into your website and the food that Michelle just brought up and Sharon brought up. I want to talk about your business, because we have other viewers that really want to hear, well, how do we hear about Lisa? How do we go to her site? How do we get her food? And you all can get the 2017 magazine of Best Self. You'll see those callers that just called in who are a part of it. So we're really glad that they were able to call in and share their love for her.
My sister.
And and be genuine and supportive about where they have brought her. The one thing that I loved about the comment was someone said, I don't know if it was you or Tran, that someone will find you. And I think that was something that even came to my spirit, that you don't have to boast about what you do in life when you're trying to help people.
No.
You just do it, and someone will find you.
That's
and because you were just doing it, you were found, you
Yeah.
know? And so I love that. And again, if you're just tuning into the show, you're listening to the Triumphant Radio Show. We're here with Lisa Washington. We've heard a phenomenal testimony about her husband giving her a kidney.
Yeah.
She's a survivor of that. She's a spokesperson for that. She has been able to, now I just got to say, you just have an enlarged territory, you know, throughout the states, throughout other countries, and you're blessing people with lifestyle changes, not just women, but I want the couples to grab hold of this too, because when everybody in your home is healthy, I believe that changes the atmosphere and the aura. And the same way the beautiful ladies talked about her in terms of her aura and the bright light, I think that's a reflection of her household and what love is about.
Wow.
That's a beautiful
I love
thing.
You said that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. We do have a caller on the line, caller 1221. We're moving a little bit faster because, you know, we're running out of time, so I got to catch everything. And I know we want to get to the website. So let's hear you, caller 1221. Caller? Caller 1221, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, hi, Lisa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. My name is Ro. Well, everybody calls me Ro. I have a question, and it's in reference to creating your best self.
Okay.
I love the magazine title and everything that it seems to embody. But for a woman who's transitioned through relationships or what have you, trying to embrace singleness and waiting, what would be a great piece of advice for her to create her best self?
Well, the first thing is this. The best self is already there. It's not about a creation. It's about an awakening and awareness of that truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that takes prayer and meditation and connecting to God who created your best self. I think a lot of time what society tells us is that we got to go look outside of ourselves to find what's already there. And it's not. And being newly singled or whatever, that doesn't define us, you know. That doesn't define anything. That was never, if we're married or single or not, that was never our definition. You can't define what already has definition. And so I think for us as women, and for men too, is that we have to discover that beauty that's already there, that best self that's already there. And that takes awareness. And it is a very powerful thing when you know not to search for what's already there and start looking for it, to see that it's there versus going outside yourself to search for it. So your best self is already there. What you got to do is find ways through prayer and meditation and being quiet with yourself to discover it and to see it for yourself. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I've done on my journey. I stopped looking for creating something that was already there and decided to tap into it and say, it's already there. God, show it to me. Show me what you see. And God will show you what you see if you pray that prayer.
That's perfect.
Awesome. Thank you. I shared it with the person I know that needed it.
Yes.
So my prayer is that she's listening.
Yes. There you go.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Excellent question.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in. All right. You know, I am loving this. I'm loving the fact that Keegan called a male because the fact that, you know, I think it's wonderful that men can be involved in how we talk about ourselves or how they view us and whatever comments that they make. It's a beautiful thing just to hear people talk from different perspectives, from different genders and backgrounds. I love it. Let's talk about your website really quick. Okay. What is the name of your company, the website? What can people find on it? And let's let them know where it's at.
Okay, great. It's Beetali Wellness and Beauty Company. And that's B-T-Y-L-I. It's named after my children. I have a son that's 31, and we call him Bernard. He's B. Tyler is Ty, and I'm Lisa Lee. So it's Beetali.
Love it.
And you can find me there. You can find me on Instagram at Life with Lisa Washington. I'm also on Twitter, which is Beetali Wellness and Beauty Company there. And on the website, you can find, and Set the Table with Love. Because everyone talks about my Facebook food. If you go to Set the Table with Love, you can find the recipes there. There's a lot of plant-based recipes, vegan, vegetarian, and lean meats.
Wonderful.
And also a lot of inspiration. Because Set the Table with Love is not just about food.
Right.
It's about the connection that you're making while you're there at the table.
That's wonderful.
So you can find that on the website and on the blog page as well.
And so there's recipes. If you're listening right now and you want to have a recipe and begin a change or a transformation inside and out, these are places you can go to. And you've already heard voices of others that have called in that have shared and confirmed the changes that have been taking place in their life and the bond that it's made.
Yes.
You know, that's just a beautiful thing. One thing I did want to make sure that we answered was, and Michelle asked it, what's next for you?
Oh my gosh.
What's next?
Right now I'm on tour with the Georgia Transplant Foundation. And I'm going around to cities all over Georgia talking about the importance of transportation. The title of the thing is called Trends in Transplantation, but it's also about living a dream now. Right. A lot of times we try to I'll be happy when, but you got to find a happy now. And so the whole thing is about the happy now. That's my whole speech is on the happy now. Wherever you at, find a happy now. I'm also about to publish my third book, which is called The Whispers of Silence.
Wow.
And it's about me taking sabbaticals on Mondays and being silent for 8 hours in prayer and meditation and different things that I got from that. I did that for several years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot, and I'm really ready to go on vacation.
That's right.
Just to tell the truth.
and the other beautiful thing about you, so you've written books, and that share this, and other people can read this and become inspired. But you've also been nominated as the Christian Dior Maven.
I know, I'm a Christian Dior
Maven. Oh my
Maven.
goodness.
Ooh, yeah.
Can you share the date and all about that?
Well, Christian Dior Maven is City Box Media. That they and Christian Dior and City Box Media have teamed together to honor men and women all over Atlanta that are philanthropists, that are doing a lot in their community, that really set the example of living basically your best self. So Christian Dior is honoring and pampering and celebrating men and women on June 21st and 22nd. So I'll be one of the women that are honored as a Christian Dior Maven on June 22nd.
Wow.
Presented and hosted and put on by City Box Media.
That is awesome. We have to clap for that. That's awesome. That's awesome. And what I love is that we just can see how God will open doors for you and make room for you. You know, even there, let's say, for example, some of this may not hit you in your mind right now. You may be in a different season in your life. But the prayer is that if you get to a place in your life where you need to be reminded of how valuable you are, you need to be reminded how you can overcome, live your best self, live the other side of that trauma. Think about this show. Think about the people that have come on that have demonstrated and articulated how to live that life and the tools that were given. Again, we talked in the beginning of the show about the suicide that we've all heard nationwide news the last week or so. And, you sometimes have to wonder, do they realize was there anybody there for them, one? Yeah. And then two, did they realize how, like you said, you just have to find it within you. What was lost? What happened? And that's, of course, a whole nother show dealing with those types of mental health conditions and traumatic experiences, etc. But at the same time, our prayer is that you take heed of the nuggets that you do get. And guess what? You may not use it today, but put them in your toolbox, and you may need it next month next week or next year. And so any type of information that is healthy for you to feed on to grow the best you inside and out, take it and put it in your box, that when you get to a place of trauma or trials or relationship situation, you can pull those nuggets out and begin to live a triumphant life and live the best you. So I really love that. Give us an example of a good meal. Like, what's your favorite meal that you like to cook?
Well, my husband is Cajun. He's from New Orleans.
Okay.
So one of my favorite things to cook for my husband and his family is gumbo. That is one of my favorite. That is one of my favorite things to cook. I love cooking gumbo because you got to make the roux and it's nice and slow and you got to be all in it. So that's what I love. I love and chopping everything. My favorite thing to cook that's very healthy is I love to cook paella. Paella is really good. Just rice and seafood and So I love a lot of ethnic and cultural food.
Right. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, have you dived into any skincare products or natural body soaps and creams and all that?
Well, yeah, I have a skincare company.
Okay, well, let's chat.
I have a skincare company called Vitali Natural Skin Therapy.
Skin therapy.
I started 10 years ago when my son had eczema, and I did everything to get rid of it, and I made this body souffle to cure my son of his eczema. He's 18, almost 18. Wow. He has no spots on his body that shows that he has eczema.
Wow.
We've been in New Beauty Magazine 5 times, which is one of the largest beauty magazines in the world. Whole Foods, we're in plastic surgeons' offices. One of our products are at Laser Lights Plastic Surgery office in Johns Creek, where you can go get the products there. Right. So that's been a whole nother journey itself. We've had some incredible celebrities that use the product and sponsored the product for me, and all over the city of Atlanta. So it's been amazing. The thing about this is that I had a stroke the night I made my products.
Wow.
I had a stroke the night I made my skincare products, and my best friend was a doctor, and she was there, took me to the hospital. And what I learned from that is that you live your dreams short alone because they belong to you. And 10 years later, I still have that company.
Look at that.
You know, we let things stop us.
Right.
And I didn't. And, I was in the hospital, and I had people keeping the company going until I got back up on my feet.
Wow.
But you live your dreams short alone because it's your dream.
Right.
You know?
You know, I'm loving it, and I thank you, Lisa, for being so transparent and open.
You're welcome.
You know, because we overcome by the word of our testimony. We talk about that all the time. And not only does it continue to bring healing for ourselves, but for other people, and I think that's so key and important. And so many of us live the same life day after day, and we're complacent. We do the same thing, same behaviors, just the same, when God is saying, no, you're going through some things. You may not want to talk about it now, but I'm here to take you out of it and put you in a different place. Right. And so sometimes when you hear people speak of what they've gone through and they're still living their best life, and then they want to give it back, and you see how God is enlarging their territory, it can happen for you too.
Yes.
It can happen.
Yes.
You know, and again, I keep going back to someone just saying, hey, I submitted your name for something. And then just this whole whirlwind of things that are taking place. And I think that that's a blessing. And I think just we as women, you know, the nuggets that you've shared tonight, we can grab hold to. You know, tonight we can go to sleep and think about, what about me do I need to work on? Because there is no flaw in me, but there's always work to be done, right?
Yes.
There's always work we can do. Am I eating healthy? Do I need to change my lunch bag tomorrow? You know, what do I need to do? Because you don't have to wait a week or two. You can start today. Yeah. You know? And how would people get in touch with you? Would they just messenger you if they wanted to be a part of it, or go on the website?
Yeah, they can go to Vitali Wellness and Beauty Company and just go and email me if they like. They can direct mail me on Facebook, which is Lisa Washington, or Set the Table with Love on IG. Instagram. They can, and I'm very good, you know. Yes. I will email you back.
Yes, yes, and yes, she will. And that's a beautiful thing. And so, again, if you're just tuning in, we're just a few minutes short of our time, but you're listening to the Triumphant Radio Show here at 108 Praise Radio, and we are here with Lisa Washington. We've just received a wealth of information, not only about beauty, but health, but also her testimony. I mean, I'm still almost in awe at some of the things that I've been hearing, and it just continues to keep me inspired. You can't leave this show tonight being woe is me. After hearing if someone's gone through a kidney transplant, you know, now they're the spokesperson, you know, if someone has gone through a stroke, you know, and they're still there. If someone has seen something on their child and they've made products now for 10 years that has cured it, there is nothing that you can say tonight that is an excuse that you cannot. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do it. You can make it. You can dream it. You can accomplish it, you know. If you have to get off this show tonight and rewrite what your goals are, if you have to rewrite your vision, if you don't have time to write a vision board, don't write the vision board. Just write in your journal the things you need to do. Put it by your bed. Put your hand on it. Pray over it and believe God is going to manifest it for you in the natural, and don't give up, even when it gets hard. Were there some times while you operated your business that it got hard.
Oh my, yes.
And what tool did you put in place to keep on keeping on?
Is what I said prior, is live your dreams short alone because they belong to you.
Yeah.
And one thing I say to myself, if I breathe today, I live today, and I will live fully. If it's my last breath, they say she lived that breath with everything she had in her. But that is how I look at life. When you are dying, you learn to live. You really do learn to live. And I think that's the most important thing. If I gave anybody anything, is get up and do something. You can do it. Don't wait for happiness. It is right there with you. Find it. Even if it's somebody next to you and they're having a great day. Say, I need to borrow your happy for a moment.
Yeah, come
borrow
on.
The happy.
Borrow
my happy.
Here, take my happy tonight.
Borrow my happy.
Here's some happiness.
Come on. Just,
let me get you some happiness.
But the thing about it shows you that happiness is always around.
Yeah.
It's always around. God's telling you just to take it on, you know?
And we miss it sometimes, you know? And the way that you can tell sometimes when someone does not feel or receive or have that happiness is that aura. It is. I know Keegan talked about, you know, coming around you, that aura that makes you want to be joyful and happiness. And that aura seeps through messages, text messages, you know, Facebook and everything. And so, you know, if you're in a place today and you're just like, you know what, my aura hasn't been good and I can tell not too many people want to come around me or there's an issue, whatever it is, you can change it today and not feel guilty, you know, because God's still going to saturate you with his love and bring out the best and the brightest in you so that you can be a light for the world. Isn't that what it's all about? If we never talk to anybody that went through, how will we know how to process ourselves to get to a triumphant life? It is nights like this, nights like talking to Lisa, nights like talking to the other guests that have shared what they've gone through that remind us, you know what? I have some tools in my tool belt that's going to get me to a better place in my life. You're right. You know, and I think I'm going to just use that all week, you know, grab and throw that happiness, you know, at myself and at other people at work.
That's what we're going to be doing.
At work. You know, we want to give the website again because we really want you to connect with Lisa. We want you to follow her on Facebook, Instagram. We want you to be able to just connect with her, invite her out. I mean, Food Network, she's just been all over the place, blessing people with such a humble but loving heart. And this is not just her. I mean, I know he's not here sitting at this table, but her husband. I mean, when I say a whole beautiful, bright light couple, that's who they are. And so my prayer also is that if you are married or if you know someone that's married, throw them some happiness. Throw them, you know, tell them, you know what? It might have been dark or it might seem bleak right now, but we can change this. You know, get together, talk about it, prayer. You know, what's one good thing you can share to a married couple?
Oh my God.
There might be 100 things, but
I got some stuff, but we won't do 100, but I can give you one thing. The one thing I would share with married couples is understanding.
Okay. Yeah.
You need to learn to understand the person on the other side of you. Yeah. If you learn and allow yourself to understand him and he understands you, that is what keeps marriages together. Is a lack of understanding of one another. That's what breaks them apart.
Wow.
That is the thing that's kept me and my husband together for 25 years is
understanding.
Understanding.
That one word. Wow,
That's
powerful. So we're going to give the website real quick, and then I want to take the next caller. So again, I'm going to spell it out so that some of you, if you're not getting it correctly, it's BTYLI Wellness
and Beauty Company.
And Beauty Company.
That's the
okay.
website.
Go to the website, check it out. There is a wealth of information on that site that can change you and how you feel, think, everything from food and holistically. And I think it's really beautiful. Hey, we want to take a call. Caller 4209. You are on. Are you there? Caller 4209.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Hi.
Am I 41209?
Yes, you are. 4209.
I didn't get a number when I called in.
That's okay. You're on air right now.
Hey, Kim. How are you? Hello?
Call, are you there?
Joe.
Hey, Kim.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, I've been just listening to the show. So inspired, as always, with your testimony. And if Joseph was there, give him the big old hug because, yes, he is such a blessing. you guys are such a blessing. We have been so inspired by everything that you do, and I don't have a question for you, but I kind of do have a question for you.
Okay, I love you.
I don't know if she shared with you all of the table things that she does, and her yoga and meditation and cooking classes that she does, but I'm sure all of the callers need to know about that, and they need to know, like, when the next one's coming up, because we all love them so much.
I know. You're so sweet. Yeah, I do yoga and meditation retreats and cooking classes, and the next cooking class that we have is actually coming up in the fall in September.
And they can see that information.
Find all that information on the website. Yeah. So yeah, the cooking class is coming. It's a farm to table. We actually go to an organic farm.
Love it.
And we get all the food from there. And sometimes we have the farm to table cooking classes right on the farm.
That's awesome.
So you get to get educated about eating a plant-based diet.
So you can take that information home and do it yourself.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, Kim, thank you for sharing that information and giving a little nudge to her so that we can know, how to do this.
She is very modest and very humble. So she's got a lot of different cards in her stack right there. That she might not be telling you everything. You might have to dig in just a little bit.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I love you, Kim.
That's awesome. Thank you, Kim, for calling in. That was perfect.
Love you.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, we're here at 108 Praise Radio, the Trumpet Radio Show. We've had with us tonight Lisa Washington. Boy, we have just had a wealth of information. Wow. It's still not enough time to get through everything that we wanted to talk about, but definitely we want you to go to Vitali Wellness, the website, so that you can definitely get engaged. You can follow her on Facebook and Instagram. It is because of this that she's the winner from last year and still featured in the 2018 magazine, A Best Self. And so I'm really hoping that you are inspired to be the best you can be inside and out. Just remain humble, because it gets you far, as you can see. And we're honored that you came on the show with us today. Absolutely.
You are absolutely incredible.
Oh my goodness, thank you. I'm inspired now to do more. That's awesome. I'm inspired to keep going.
Lots of wisdom.
That's wonderful. I receive all of that.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get off, and go home and be able to soak in even the nuggets that I've learned here today too, and even just being reminded of. We all can use reminders and be refreshed. Yes. To know how to live our best selves and just to stay humble and just use our gift. Our gift will make room for us.
Yes.
And so the gifts within her have just sprouted out like wildfire. And I just hope you all continue to follow her. Maybe in a couple of months we'll have her back on the show, or we'll meet her somewhere, and so we can kind of see the updates of what's going on. Again, and if you didn't hear the testimony before, you'll be able to go back and hear the show and hear what's going on, because there is so much to say about someone who can go through traumatic and trial experiences, but again, still come out triumphant. That's a beautiful thing. Hey, you know what? There is no flaw in you. There's not a flaw in you. No matter how you feel or think or what you have to change, there is no flaw in you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're beautiful inside and out. And I pray that every couple, every single person, every man, every woman that is listening on tonight will remember the king and the queen that you are, how you were created to be. Don't let anyone steal your joy or tell you anything different. If you're going through a trial or a tribulation medically, you just heard an awesome testimony tonight showing that you can still live your best life. You can still overcome. You can still live well. You just put some tools in place and you will see how God will take you from where you are at now to even a better place.
Yes.
Truly, you have shared that tonight.
Thank you.
We're just honored to have Lisa on the show tonight. Hey, don't forget to listen to me every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on the Triumphant Radio Show, where we are always voicing the gospel. We look forward to Monday. We're going to have some continuing to go deeper into ourselves, overcoming, living that triumphant and victorious life. And I want to remind you tonight, don't just go to sleep. Make sure you dream and wake up winning. We'll see you next Monday. God bless you. Yay.
Thank you.